Welcome everybody to the latest in our London interviews series, and we're very lucky to be sitting here opposite and in the same room as Lucas Ribeiro, Regional Manager for West Europe at DNV. Lucas, lovely to see you and welcome to the chat today. Just really want to start, if I can, Lucas. DNV's been a big supporter of LISW over the years, but how important is the London operation here? And tell me a little bit about the role that you play here and also as head of operations in West Europe.
Thank you for inviting me to be able to support this podcast. The region is quite vast. We have from Germany to Spain, Portugal, UK, Benelux, France. And London has been always one key center of our shipping operations and a place where you have lots of clients, customers, IMO, press, and all this. So definitely London, it's a key office for us, and the presence here is really important.
And is it the IMO element here that is very important? Because, I know the class societies and with IAX, you've got IAX based here in London as well. So presumably you're working with them and then also working with the IMO, presumably.
Correct. So we have one representation here that is permanently here in London. And he's part of this IAX and IMO meetings and bringing our expertise to these meetings and also the information needed to the company as well, part of these MPCs and all these developments.
How big is the office here? What is the sort of scope of the work that you're doing here?
It's around, I think we are around 14 persons. But with other sectors as well, we have quite a big office here. It's around 150 or something persons here in the office.
Now, as I mentioned right at the start, DNV, we've been very, very lucky to be been able to work with DNV for a number of years now with London International Shipping Week. And but could you give me a little bit of insight into the value that an event like LISW brings to a company like DNV? You are a global operator. You are one of the top 3 class societies globally. What does it mean to DNV, would you say, getting involved with something like LISW?
This year will be the second year I participate. The first time in 2023. And it was a great opportunity to meet all the stakeholders, leaders, partners on the industry. They will be here for 1 week in the same location. So it's a new opportunity. Normally, as you said, it's a global. So it's very difficult to concentrate all this amount of leaders, decision makers, stakeholders in one location. So it represents a unique opportunity for us to meet them and to show our differentiators, to show our latest developments, how can we are supporting the industry especially with this decarbonization, this sustainability matters.
There's a lot happening in shipping at the moment. You talk about the emission side and also sustainability. You've got governance, you've got the social aspect. There's an awful lot happening. And I suppose when you've got so many people coming into London in a concentrated way, it gives you that opportunity. But London is unique, isn't it? Because it is a series of events rather than an exhibition or whatever. Is that something that you can derive benefit from because you meet more people?
No, it's much better. I think the arrangements that we have here, that we go to different locations and meet. And during this, you have opportunity also to be with clients. You have a unique opportunity to take stakeholders to different locations, different places as well. Experts, they don't need to be participating in all the events and every location. So it's a very unique opportunity to share this.
And of course, we're having the chat today towards the middle of January, but it's cold outside and everything like that. And I think really come September, London can be actually rather nice in May and September. They all say they're the sort of best months for London, as long as it doesn't rain, Lucas. That's the main thing, really, I suppose. But there's a lot happening with it during the week. How do you sort of plan your way around? What's your sort of strategy for getting around LISW as a company? Do you allocate a number of people with certain tasks to go to events?
Yes, depends on the main topics of each discussion or each subject. We will determine who is participating there. If it's more technical, it's more strategic leaders. So we will identify the best distribution that we can get from. There will be not only our London office, but there will be also players coming from DNV worldwide,
around the world.
Yes, and to support us in this event. So,
and I think really it's not just having an opportunity for you and your colleagues to maybe speak at other events during the week, because that with 350 or 400 events as we anticipate there will be this year, there's always an opportunity for companies like yourselves with your skill sets and your expertise to contribute to other events, but you can also hold your own event during the week. So, Lucas, we've got maritime leaders from around the world gathering in London during LISW. But what is on your agenda during the week? And what will you sort of bring to the week itself? What do you have up your sleeve?
A part of meetings, special meetings with different players, we will be very happy and excited to launch our 2025 edition of the Maritime Forecast from 2050. So this report we will give the technological advancement and also the regulatory developments, mapping out the pathway towards the IMO ambitions to emissions reductions target.
Right.
So we'll give some examples of the latest developments, what the industry initiatives, prices, availability of alternative fuels, locations, and all this in a context that we give them a possibility to take some strategic decisions for the companies.
That's going to be very, very important because the whole industry is focusing in on emissions at the moment, but they're looking for solutions, aren't they?
Correct. They're looking for some inspirations more, let's put that way.
Right.
And because the crystal ball, it's quite difficult to determine how it will be the future and the alternative fuel, but it gives lots of insights, depend on the operations of if they have a short sea shipping, do they have a global transportation, large ships, small ships, feeders. So all of them has a different understanding and different needs from their strategy.
And I think with the debate on alternative fuels, and I guess you can't give too much away with regards to the report ahead of the time there, but the industry, as I said, is the one thing that's certain about it is the uncertainty about the alternative fuels. As you say there, it depends on the type of vessel, the trade, etc., and the infrastructure.
And the infrastructure, correct. And so we see that in some parts there is some more investment, there is some more technologies moving ahead. Others are getting a little bit backwards, awaiting more investment because they're more expensive. And for this report now we see the new players start giving a little bit more possibility. That is the nuclear coming, carbon capture. They are giving more attention from the industry, although we see that the nuclear will take a much longer time to really come to the shipping. Although we have the Navy vessels that is already running on the nuclear, but we need this acceptance from the public acceptance. It's still some challenge. Although I believe personally this might change faster than we think, because we see these big players in the US like Amazon, like Google, that they are really moving to investments in the nuclear field.
Right. And it's a very clean.
Very clean. And although some persons will say that because of this radioactivity, it's not clean, but it's related to emissions is extremely clean.
Just touching on the carbon capture, and that's something that's quite emotive at the moment. Obviously, we've got Mr. Trump talking about drill, baby, drill, and oil and gas is going to continue to be here. How difficult or challenging an operation is that going to be for the industry to really start to look at carbon capture? Or is it something that can be easily rolled out?
We see more and more that there is technological developments on that aspect. But one of the challenges is really to see the port facilities to receive this carbon after this has been captured. And this is something that we might have the infrastructure on board, but if we cannot discharge the CO2 capture, then there is not much meaning. This will be one of the big challenges that together with the developments on board, that we will have also development on the ports and terminals.
When will the maritime forecast, you'll be making that announcement during the week, you'll be having a presentation on that?
Correct.
Okay, well, we'll definitely look forward to that. But yeah, it's a fact that's a really, really motive part of the industry at the moment. So that'll be good to see. It is interesting because, you look at the fuels and the different types, they are relating to certain vessel types, vessel trades. Core power, I think, one of the components of nuclear fuel played a big part in shipping, drilling, and keeping the oil and gas sector going. But then again, if you can involve that carbon capture, that's going to benefit that.
Correct. This is the new challenge if the technology will be in place, but the fuel will not be available. One of this possibility to reduce emissions and to benefit is the carbon capture.
I want to come onto digitalisation, because I know that's quite important, and many of today's emissions regulations are heavily based around data collection, and that's quite important. How do you see that developing, and what do owners and operators need to be aware of with regards to that? Because it is about data at the moment.
Yeah, no, data, as you said, is the new oil in this data format. And it's very important, first of all, to make sure that you have a reliable, accurate, and the correct format data. Because you can gather lots of data, but if you don't have these three elements together, it will be very difficult that you can take any analytics from it or some learnings from it. So we in DNV, we have been already for a long time in the digitalization journey. This year we got the 9th year consecutive the digital award from Lloyd's List.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And so it means that we have already identified this data challenge, and we have provided the industry with this operations vessels data standards, where we can give to the industry some ground view that they can play and collect the data in the same format, and they can share it, can take analysis, and they can do it. After they started with this principle, with this basic to getting the data, what is important for them is to start asking themselves is that how I am collecting this data, how I'm storing, to whom I will share this data, what benefit I take from it, and if I need some expert in the company to help me to take a comparison with the fleet worldwide or with the one vessel, or to start driving operational changes and operational performance improvements.
The funny thing about shipping, and I think if go back over the years that I've been reporting on the industry, standardization has been something that I've been pushing out in a lot of areas, even ECDIS and all these sort of areas. How do you actually get that to work when you've got a standard process and guidelines as far as data? You're right. How do you collect it? How do you store it? Who do you share it with? What are the parameters? How do you get that out? How do you disseminate that out into the market so that you are then getting that buy-in?
Yeah, we have some. For example, I mentioned this Emission Connect.
Yeah,
that is one of our software that we developed in-house, where we collect all the data related to the emissions of the vessel. And then we validate this. There is some reasoning behind the software and everything. And then we make sure that this data in the end is validated and can be shared with all the players related to this emissions pricing, and then we can share it, and they can use now in the future with the Fuel EU, for example, to pool, to store, to bank, or to share these emissions credits when they have, and they need this data, this format data corrected to.
Okay. And one thing that also then throws up is cybersecurity, is how to protect that. And you are expanding your presence within cybersecurity, aren't you? But can you tell me a little bit about that force behind this? What are you doing as far as that is concerned?
Yes, as I said before, we started with this digital journey already some time ago, and we identified that the cyber attacks is one of the key risks that the maritime industry and the global industries are facing at the moment. And we start in 2001 acquiring the first company called Applied Risk from Finland. 2023 we got Applied Risk from the Netherlands. 2023 Nixu from Finland, and then the latest acquisition from DNV, it's a CyberAll from London. And now we have around 550 experts in the company where to support us internally and to support externally our clients to provide their cyber resilience.
Do you think is shipping doing enough when it comes to cybersecurity? I mean, 550 people, you guys are doing a lot, and you're looking after your clients, and you're looking after yourself. But the industry as a whole, is it doing enough?
Let's say the awareness is increasing. We have already several examples of companies that been hit in maritime and also outside the maritime. So the awareness is increasing. But we believe that maybe lack of understanding what is the risks are that make them a little bit less alert or And the increasing connectivity of the ships, the digitalizations, the communications on board. So all of this is increasing the risk. It's not only the IT, but it's also the OT that needs focus tremendously.
How can the problem be resolved? I mean, is it a question that, when you a vessel owner or a vessel comes online and gets connected, it's automatically then protected, that you have to force that onto the marketplace? Is that the only way to do it?
Yeah, one of the principles of, like any other risk, is get barriers to avoid that you have this continuous line of incidents without any barriers, and then you have the big. But I just saw one presentation yesterday, and it's amazing that one of the key challenges that we have, it's the memory sticks.
Really? Still the USB sticks?
Yes, USB sticks. It's still giving quite a lot of the events that we have seen on the cyber. It's related to the USB sticks.
And that's something that's so easily dealt with, isn't it?
Apparently, yes, but the maritime industry, you have so vast equipment on board and the connections, and then you don't have the connectivity all the time, and then you need, for example, update maybe on some charts or whatever, and then we do with plugging something, and then you need to transfer one document to the harbor, and then you connect something downloaded. But there is lots of things that need some barriers, perfect barriers to avoid that this is happening.
And it is, again, about awareness, education on it, and what have you.
Yeah, because you only need one.
You only need one, and that's going to affect everything. Absolutely.
Yeah.
One element of the maritime ecosystem that's good at digitalization are the younger people, the younger generation. They come connected to a phone. They know exactly what's going on. They even my grandchildren are 2-year-olds are flicking away text messages while they're watching their YouTube. But LISW is about bringing people in shipping together, and I think that's a big strength of it. You can go to events during the week. You can meet new people. People are there to socialise, to do business meetings, to whatever. It's a great advantage. But a challenge for shipping is attracting in the right people and retaining them, and certainly the younger generation. From your experiences as a manager at DNV and beyond, how can we make sure that we keep that talent? Not only go out and get it, but we keep that talent. As we move forward, because it's going to be a continuous thing.
Correct. I mean, the whole industry is suffering to attract the talents, as you said. And for us, what we say is that we need to make sure that they have a feeling of belonging, a sense of contributing to something big, to something innovative, to something that will bring a different world, new environment. So this is very important to make sure that they are attracted to this. And Maritime has all the possibilities. We are innovative. We are new technologies. We have all this. And but in the other front, to retain them, I have 36 years experience in the industry, and for me is to build up a very strong culture. So you need to make sure that they will feel part of something big. They will feel that they have a development plan, that they have a voice, that they can share their experience, that they are well being treated. So all this culture, when you make sure that they create the culture and they are part of building up the cathedral, then we are able to retain them.
Because I think it is important that you've got to view it as a career, and whether have a seafarer that comes ashore, but then suddenly all the whole raft of new job opportunities open up. From being a superintendent to managing the crew department to whatever, they can then see the second part of their career opening up. And are you saying that that's the sort of thing that needs to be really spelled out and developed and enhanced? The shipping is a career for the future.
It is. It's the future, and the maritime transport will continue to play a key role in the world connectivity, world transportation. The people want a new mobile phone. The people want a new electric car. The people wants to. So it will still be part of this development, and we can influence a lot.
But I think you're right in the sense of it's okay recruiting them in. You've got to retain them, and I think that's the key element. But it's going to be a continuous thing, really. Finally, really, on a bit of a lighter note, I mean, LISW is not just work, it's a lot of fun and socialising, and London's a great place to come to. You know, the shipping industry likes to come here, and you've been to London and the UK many times. But what tell me a little bit about what sort of motivates you when you come to a capital like this. You know, how do you relax? What are you going to be sort of doing in this sort of downtime during LSW, and also outside of that? How do you like to relax here?
Well, London, especially for me, in the private note, has a very strong meaning, because that's where I came with my honeymoon.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, 30 years ago.
Wow.
So since then, every time I had the opportunity to come to London, try to bring my wife with me. Then we try to enjoy the evening. London is international. You have musicals, you have museums, shows, restaurants. You have even just to walk around the river and take pictures and emblematic, and it brings a lot of good memories, and it's fantastic.
Well, what we want to try and do for this year is sort of send out to all the visitors either through the app or the website and what have you, a little bit of a historical maritime guide of London. So when they're going from one meeting to another, they might well pass, you know, a pub that Charles Dickens used to sit in, or Nelson used to meet his team there, or whatever. So, you know, London is so full of this sort of stuff, and there's a lot of fun. You talk about the West End. There's a bit of a sort of hint for you to maybe take your wife there next time, but over in Leicester Square, there's the Arts Theatre. There's a lovely musical called The Choir of Man. It's all set in an Irish bar, and of course, you go in and if you want a pre-event drink, you go onto the stage, and you have a drink at the bar on the stage. So it's the first time that you'll ever get to go on a West End stage. It's amazing.
Fantastic.
Absolutely amazing. But you say, I mean, London is packed full of that side of it as well.
It's an entertainment by itself.
Yeah.
We don't need much to get entertained in London.
No, absolutely. Well, Lucas, thank you very, very much indeed for your time today. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. And there were a few months over LSW, but this big run into it has already happened, and it's going to be great during the week. So we look forward to seeing you during LSW as well. And thank you very much indeed for your time today.
No, thank you very much for the opportunity. It has been a pleasure. And I'm looking forward to the 2025 editions of this.